objects and see which one suits you. So sometimes sometimes some people, they follow a certain meditation teacher, and the meditation teacher, maybe he found certain method suitable for him, and the way he practiced was suitable for him, and then he teaches you that, and then some people go and, what do you call it? In Hokkien we say si pan, too fixed. So you can't follow your teacher 100%. What he practices is good for him. You have to find out what is good for you yourself. Both. When you practice, when you are sitting down in meditation, you observe one object only, and as just the simile given just now on the man watching the bowl of oil, you pay attention to that one object without being distracted by any other thing. So for example, if you are paying attention to your breath, your breathing, all your attention is anchored on your breath. Any sound outside, you don't bother. Mosquito disturb you, also you try not to be bothered. The pain in your leg, also you try to ignore it, unless it's unbearable. So you put your attention only on one thing. And nowadays a lot of meditation teachers, vipassana teachers, they tell you, if sound comes, you note. Whatever comes, you note. Not the Buddha's teaching. The Buddha's teachings, your mind is totally fixed on one object. That is when you're sitting. Now when you're not sitting, you can observe any one of these four. If feelings change in your mind, you note how the feelings change in your mind. If thought arises in your mind, you also note. And then when you note, you always remember that they are impermanent. And then also try to analyze why you have a certain thought. For example, is it motivated by anger? Is it motivated by your ego? So if you know it's motivated by anger or your ego, you know it's an unwholesome state. So you try not to get rid of it. And then also, if you can remember the Dhamma, then you recollect the Dhamma when you are not sitting. So when you are sitting, you try to attain one-pointedness of mind. When you are sitting, we always practice samatha, meditation. Only when you are not sitting, when, for example, you are walking on the street, or you are sitting in a bus or something, then you can observe your mind, you can observe your feelings, you can think of Dhamma. If you find your mind is very scattered, a lot of people, our mind tends to be very scattered, especially if we sleep a lot, then we have to constantly put our attention on one object. Also bring it back to one object. And a simple way is to do chanting. I always encourage people to do chanting. You choose a chant that is suitable for you. Buddho, Buddho, Arahang, Arahang.
How do we, for example, during meditation, how do we recollect other feeling, mind, or Dhamma?
But when I just said, when you're sitting down, you only cultivate one object.
But there are four choices, is it? Is it four choices for the recollection? So four choices.
You pick one.
Okay, so I can give an example of meditating on feeling.
You don't meditate on a feeling when you are sitting down. You don't meditate on a feeling. It's only Goenka meditation. In the Buddha's Suttas, the Buddha always talks about mindfulness directed to the body. The body means one object, one form. It can be your breath, it can be a light, it can be a kasina. All this is a body. Because when you meditate on a form object, a body, it brings you to form jhana, rupa jhana. And that is our object. The object of your meditation is to attain the first Rupa Jhana, the second Rupa Jhana, the third and the fourth Rupa Jhana. So to attain the Rupa Jhanas, you have to meditate on a Rupa, a form. That's why the Buddha always talks about mindfulness directed to the body. Leads you to the deathless, and the Buddha always says.
Just need to seek some clarification.
Yeah.
Now, during the sitting meditation, you only contemplate the body. The other, Satipatthana is supposed to have 4 things. Then the other 3, you cannot do it during the sitting. Then how do you contemplate?
Unless you have already attained the jhanas. If you already attained the jhanas, like the Buddha on the night of enlightenment, he used the jhanas to recollect his past life. And then he used the jhanas, coming out of the 4th jhana, with his psychic power, he could see beings dying and reborn, dying and reborn. And the 3rd watch, he recollected the 4 noble truths that he had learned from the Buddha Kassapa. And then he attained enlightenment. So before, if you have not attained the jhanas, our object in sitting down meditating is to attain the jhanas. After you have attained the jhanas, then you've got rid of the hindrances. Then only you use your mind to practice vipassana, contemplate on the Dhamma. And that will lead you to enlightenment. If your mind is full of the hindrances, you have not attained jhana, then you cannot see clearly, even when you remember the suttas. But if you pay a lot of attention to the Dhamma, it's possible to attain the first fruit, stream entry, but not liberation. The Buddha always says to become liberated, you need 4 jhanas.
This is a clarification. The Bodhika method, we don't contemplate on the feeling, but the body sensations. It is actually we are contemplating the body sensation. It's still a contemplation of body.
But can you see your body? Is it...
the way I do this is I stand at my body. Just take note of the sensations. It's just keep moving, but it helps me to calm my mind down very fast. I use anapanasati to calm the mind, develop the sensations, and also that, and then use it to scan the body. And it helps me to calm it down.
It may
feel a contemplation of the body.
Yes, maybe you can consider it as a contemplation of a body or of feelings, because if it's not feelings, then this sensation, what is it? But
we just, for me, I just the feeling is we are reminded to be being equanimous to the feeling, and if there is a pain or a nice sensation, you just don't get attached to it. You just know that it's a feeling, and you just move on.
Now, the thing is whether it will bring you to the 4 jhanas. If it can bring you to the 4 jhanas, then it is a correct method. If you don't end up with the 4 jhanas practicing that way, then it is not Buddhist meditation, because in the Majjhima Nikaya, remember Ananda says the only type of meditation praised by the Buddha is the first jhana, second jhana, third jhana and fourth jhana. So it doesn't matter what object you use, what method you use. The important thing is you must end up with the 4 jhanas. If you don't end up with the 4 jhanas, you are not practicing Buddhist meditation. Because the purpose of attaining the 4 jhanas is to get rid of the 5 hindrances. When only the 5 hindrances are only got rid of when you attain the jhanas. Although they are not rooted out, but they have been cut down until there are no more obstructions, there are no more hindrances.
I would like to refer to Bodhanga Samyutta, Sutta 46.
What page?
Page 1617.
Okay.
Maybe explain how do we perceive these suttas on the skeleton, practicing the bojjhanga and with perception of the skeleton. So I was just wondering how do we use the skeleton as an object?
See, in this sutta, we're supposed to practice the 7 bojjhangas in that same sequence. First, you cultivate this recollection of the Dhamma. Recollection usually means recollection of the Dhamma. And so when you think of the skeleton, then you can imagine that one day your body will become a skeleton. In other words, you think of impermanence and how it is a source of suffering. Then after that, you practice the investigation. What are the things that cause the arising of the skeleton, and how even the skeleton can vanish, can cease, go away. And before the skeleton also, this is a human body and all that. Then after that, energy, if you want to use it to attain the jhanas, then you'll have to probably fix the skeleton and the mind. You have to observe a skeleton. Open your eyes and close the eyes, and open the eyes and close the eyes. Probably until that skeleton becomes your object, your body that you are meditating on. So just like a kasina object, you meditate on an object, kasina object, like a fire, a water, or a color. So if we look at a skeleton, and then we close our eyes and open our eyes, etc., until it stays with us. So I guess in that way, that's a kasina.
It means it is using it as an object and also using it as an object for contemplation.
Yeah. So there are certain objects of meditation where it is both samatha and vipassana, just like the 32 parts of the body. Okay, if there's nothing, we end here.